units around, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, especially if we see dogs. So both players are ready. Dogs doing a really good job at taking out Parthian units. Any sort of skirmish unit, dogs will do a great job killing. So let's see if they did bring any. I love seeing dogs. May even do a tournament with dogs or something like that. I don't know. Something would be pretty funny. Okay, this isn't the map I was thinking about, actually. This one is where there's like a slight hill on both sides. And it's, for the most part, I would say flat. But I know there's like a little ridge right here that you can use against cover for archers. I think it was right here. Right here you can sit, because one enemy spawns here and one enemy spawns here. Did I get that backwards? Yeah, you can run up a unit and hide them right here and have protection against artillery. I've seen that happen, but for the most part, battle's going to be pretty fair. I think they just... This is a different map. It's normally fully desert, but they added the grassland feature to it. It's pretty cool to see. So I mean, there's just like relatively flat, a little bit of bumps and hills, but nothing too major, nothing big tactically advantage, unless they have a catapult and they sit right here on top of this. Then I can see how that could possibly be beneficial to them. That would be pretty cool to see. I love seeing just any sort of mix-up of units when people bring catapults or something like that. So here's the big... Okay, so this is a little bit different, actually. They start higher up. Generally, I see it start a little bit lower, but that's okay. So I'll get into the units here in a little bit. I'm just going to let them set up so that they don't have time to see what exactly they're going to be up against. So like I said before, you could potentially sneak a unit all the way around this side, up this hill, if you can bear to wait that long, all the way up this hill, all the way up here, and get good charges down onto your enemy. But that's going to be a little difficult because just the sheer amount of time it takes to get a unit here to up here. It's probably going to take at least, if you're walking it, 5 minutes or less, 3 minutes maybe. Which by then the enemy could have already enclosed on you, and that tactic's pretty worthless. But it's always good to try those things. In the beginning of battles, it's always good to try to just be sneaky, send a unit on some random direction, but don't lose focus of it. Because if you're not paying attention and that unit ends up getting caught, then you're going to be in a world of hurt, and you're going to be down units. Deer, yes, the animals are here in this map. Forgot to look for those. Bambis. Walking into the battlefield, trying to scare their opponents with their fierce stares. Okay, so I'll just get into the units now. In a second. Okay, so it looks like here we have on the south side of the minimap here, we have Parthia and Egypt, or Parthia and Macedon. Elephants, yes. Find the sword holder, because there's always a sword holder for some reason. I feel like they should just give him a bow. That kind of defeats his advantage. But the funny thing is too, I was talking about before, like if it's this guy's job to kill the elephant and this guy has a sword, would he hand this guy the sword? Oops, they are talking to each other. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun on both teams. The battle did start. So here on the south side of the minimap again, we have Parthia and Macedon. This is a complete new set. We are in the semifinals. This team did move on due to a no-show. So they're going to go ahead and move up with their Parthian units. Here on the north side of the minimap, we have Egypt and Averni, which is going to be pretty good to see because, let's see if they brought Oath Swarm. Not that many dogs. Yes, they were listening. They brought dogs. Dogs are the best. We'll see how much damage these dogs can do against the enemy units. Hopefully they can deal a fair amount of damage. Very interesting to see. Pretty much you just have to utilize these dogs effectively. You have to get nice side charges, nice side advantage, because your dogs will chase down any sort of retreating unit and do tons of damage to it, and come back and hit the flanks of your enemies if they're not paying attention. So Rome and Averni moving into the center of the field because they know that all these Parthian horse archers are going to be coming to them. and they are trying to get ready for it by using on this hill, but they're about to get surprised here because he ran these units up into the cover of that hill, and dogs have been released. The dogs have been released onto the Parthian archers, and they're gonna get caught unless they have backup, and they have backup. Cataphracts need to charge these dogs before these dogs catch these horses. One horse going down. Let's see how many kills these dogs can pull off. They're very fast, and they can keep chasing these units down, and they won't stop. And if the cav try to charge, look at this, the cav try to charge them, it kind of messes up because they go for the handlers instead. A few of the dogs getting caught, but most of them still free to move forward. Dogs, such a gimmicky mechanic. Noble horses now trying to move in to chase the cataphracts. Oh, they're turning around with their horse archers because they want to try to get the that cav, but now the dogs are going to be doing a lot of damage to these horse archers. Forced to retreat now. You hear them all dying, doing a great job, and the dogs are still up, still chasing, shooting at these noble archers, or shooting at the noble horses. A lot of cav now coming into play by Averni, and Parthia wisely retreating up the hill, forcing the advantage on their side, sending down cataphracts with a good charge into a lot of these units. What's mixed in here? Dog handlers and archers and a couple spearmen. Looks like they're going to try to be very aggressive here. Cataphracts doing a great job killing these noble horses, especially with the Parthian horse archers still being chased by dogs. Look at them, they're forcing a rout on them just by that. These cataphracts, since they're all by themselves, are not doing too hot because they're just fighting these noble horses all by themselves. Archer fire going in to try to help. Looks like foot companions here in pike mode, ready to engage, doing tons of damage to these spear nobles. Spear nobles again getting engaged here. Oh wow, doing a great job stopping his units right before the engagement, allowing for the pikes to be optimal and doing tons of damage. Averni just keeps marching forward, and Parthia needs to move forward to engage before Macedon gets surrounded. Parthian swordmen moving in. Parthian swordmen are not going to do a good job fighting against these units. Rome sending out his archers to try to stop the cavalry from these cataphracts from moving around the side. Elephants now moving in to try to do a lot of damage. Hopefully they can, charging straight into horses. But no, you can't knock down an elephant. The amount of tonnage that these elephants bring, completely stopping the charges here, and probably going to do a lot of damage. A couple elephants going down by these by the archers here. Macedon doing a great job holding off Egypt and Averni at the same time. So as you can see here, they're not doing the same tactic they did last time where they split a unit. Actually, it's going to happen in reverse. Averni got a little too aggressive and pushed their units into the left, while Rome is sitting pretty here on the right side, trying to do whatever he can because he's too busy micromanaging the cavalry here to try to get good advantages onto these cataphracts. But with all this archer fire going in, this Praetorian cav can only last so long. The noble horses now are going to be taken out. I think all the elephants just hit the deck and have perished, but more Oathswarm taking to the field, going in there. These guys doing tons of damage. They're very good units, and you need to really have your archers on par. Macedon just holding their lines, holding back Rome to make sure that Rome doesn't reunite with his fellow friend, Averni. He's sending in some Aspis cav to try to take out the general. He did catch the general, but it might not be enough. He's still going to be fighting for dear life, sending units forward. Big engages here, engages all over the place. Parthia is not going to last too much longer. This is the problem. Parthia's units aren't necessarily the best in melee combat, and I would say Averni is probably one of the best in melee combat. But look at this, very good job. Parthia's swordsmen now going to get side charges onto these spear nobles, and these spear nobles are going to get hit pretty hard, not paying attention, getting lots of casualties taken on them because it's a side charge and those units were not moving. And with all this cav out of Parthia, he could kite for a big majority of the time. Did the general rout? Did the general make it? I think Rome did save his general barely, pulled it out of the fight. Pulled out of the fight there at the last second. Averni here on the right-hand side trying to do as best as he can, sending in spear nobles to try to hold back these units, trying to let Rome get in formation. But now the companion cav here, this is the general unit moving in, hitting these skirmishers. Great, look at all the men that just died from that charge, instantly routing them. But now these, oh, he pulls away. here he sees that this cav was going to be catching his cavalry, the Macedonian cavalry, so he pulls away, forces that guy to catch the rest of the units, gets away safely there, but Rome still has the majority of his units, while Macedon's trying to amass everything he can on that left side to hold it off. Parthia has fallen. Parthia can only last so long against all of these horses. Parthia not good in melee combat. He needs to fall back behind his teammates' lines now and utilize whatever archers and whatever he has left to try to survive. Macedon could still pull this off. He has a lot of units still left over half of his units still alive, but there is so much archers here from Rome. It looks, wow, Rome and Averni showing us that not only Parthia can bring the archers, but the auxiliary slingers and yeah, that they brought here from Rome can do tons of damage. Noble archers here still in play, trying to do as much damage as they can. Already at 22 kills, doing good, but not ideal. They should be doing a little bit more damage than that. But now Averni's trying to get the collapse down here on Macedon, moving his units all the way around the right-hand side to get into flanks. Roman Triarii now dying from these foot companions. Foot companions in a pretty good pike formation. The only thing is they're getting hit here on the right-hand side, so they're going to be dying pretty soon. Cav now trying to move in, trying to get charges on the rest of these Parthian noble archers. These noble archers are running for their lives, trying to get around. They're going to get caught by this general unit, and wow, that unit goes flying. Macedon trying as hard as he can to clean up the rest of these units here. Lots of Cavs still alive, though. One horse archer up here needs to start moving around. He's trying to kite with as much as he can, but they are on the ball, paying attention to every single unit that's breaking through, doing a lot of damage. So much Cav here. Rome brought like half Cav, a quarter slingers, and only a few units. This battle can go either way. It's coming down to the wire. A lot of the units are just Cav left over. Cav and archers, while the Macedonian units just have infantry, which is kind of bad for Macedon, because once these slingers have just free reign on whatever shots they want, they're just going to keep pelting all these units until they die. Foot companions here engaging Triarii. I'm not sure who's going to win that one. A few horse archers left, but they're trying to run around. Peltas fighting. So it looks like here Macedon's going to try to reform their line and pull up this hill. He doesn't have that many units left. Just only barely any. If Parthia can get the Cav, if he can get some archer kills with this unit, he might be forced to just engage now in melee combat. He's caught off guard. He brings his horse archers into melee combat, which aren't going to last too long. They get charged down. Macedon still has Peltas, foot companions left. They could still pull this off, but the mobility is going to be really hard to overcome. I mean, most of it is just horses, so if they just sit there, maybe on top of the hill, like fall back and camp up here and wait until Averni and Averni and Rome march up on them, they might be okay, but with all of the slingers still left over, that's not going to be too good. They weren't able to get their cav in there to kill all those archers or skirmishers. And I mean, they're not too good. They have only 12 missile damage, but after enough shots go off, that's going to be pretty much it for them. Unless they can maybe take out a couple more units. I mean, this is the general unit. Maybe if they can take it out, do some more here. But Rome needs to be very careful here, because they only have cavalry and archers. And I don't know, I wouldn't really recommend charging, but at the same time, I wouldn't recommend just sitting there. It's kind of hard to see, it's kind of hard to figure out what exactly you should do, because he could kite around with his archers all day, or he can just try to take the slinger shots as much as he can, but they're going to end up losing units. And the cavalry is just going to pretty much do this, so he's forced to go into a box. And with enough cav charges, that's probably going to be it. And that was an interesting conclusion there. I think Parthia did a really good job, but a lot of his noble horses didn't do enough damage. If he had more foot soldiers, not foot soldiers, if he had more, here come the charges now on the sides. But if he had more like foot archers, he may have done a little bit better. And if he just hid behind Macedon, I don't think it was wise to maybe go off on his own. But these players are all better than me, so whatever decision they make at the time is probably better than the decision I would have made. And hindsight is 2020, so when you're looking at it from our point of view, we do feel that our strategy would have been better. So Foot Companions are going to go down, so that's going to be the first battle here out of Team Simon and their opponents, Leontes. So they're up now 1-0, so Leontes needs to win this one in order to move on to the next battle. Okay, so that, as you can see, the kills here. See, yeah, just the amount of kills they got here. It was evenly split between Averni and Rome, but then for Macedon, he got most of the kills, which was to be expected, and the Parthian archers weren't able to do enough damage, I feel. They just got caught too quickly. They rushed them and caught them off guard, and that was pretty much it. So since Leontes did lose this one, they get to pick the map again, and they also stay as host. That was a very well good first game. I'm just not sure if I mean, Averni did a really good job at knowing that Parthia was sort of by himself, and if he just goes straight in there, he'll do a lot of damage. So now they're trying to pick the map and see which one they want to play. Up to you. Let's see what they decide to bring this time. Akenathon and Simon, proving to be a very effective combination by rushing in there and doing lots of damage. They're very good at knowing when to come in there and just devastate their opponent when and capitalizing on any sort of advantage they find. I mean, in that one, we saw Parthia up on top of the hill, and Averni just decided to just charge in there and just go for it, and they did a really good job at pulling that off. So let's see if what they decide to do, if whether or not they're going to go a dual pike or they're going to try something else, because I think pike was good, but they just need to be careful with how much pike versus how much cav. As you guys saw again, that came down to who had the cav at the very end, which is really what it's coming down to now. So it looks like we might see the same combination. It seems most people who use pikes are getting fought now against Averni and Subi, which is pretty cool to see because, like I said before, on the first couple weeks of this game, we didn't see anything like that. It changed pretty quickly. So we'll see what they decide to do. Totally forgot to change this. One second, getting some PMs from some people. But as soon as these guys are ready, we'll start this one. And there we go, just changing the title of the game. So now they're just talking to each other and figuring out whenever they're ready. So it looks like that's what they're going to stay with, Macedon. So again, on this one, if the Averni team is able to outflank and win the cav battle, then it's going to be pretty tough for Macedon. We've been seeing that over and over again, and I'm curious to see how they're going to counter it. So far we haven't seen one. Every time we've seen like Averni Subi versus the pike line, the pikes have been losing constantly now. So we'll see if they're able to stop it and show us that that pikes are still OP. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like a very wise decision to go pikes. Looks like the Macedon team is ready. Just waiting on Averni and Subi to go ahead and ready up. So Tanis Grassland, just from the look of the map, it looks like a crater there in the middle. We'll see what it ends up being. Just waiting on the last one to ready up, and we will get into this battle and we will break down the map and see what tactics is going to be useful for them. So they already know each other's strategy. They already know what has to be done, what units to bring, and how to do it. The only thing is if they can do it, because during the heat of the moment in the battle, sometimes you just get a unit too far forward or in the wrong position, and it's just too late, and you have no choice but to just engage. And so far, all these teams have been doing a great job capitalizing on everything. Even both sides, these games coming down to literally the wire. If just one more unit stayed or one more unit got taken out, they could have changed the tide of the battle. Just need to be careful here. Team Akenathon and Simon like to bring a lot of archers and a lot of cav, which allows them to win the skirmish fight and then win the cav fight. And then what ends up happening is, since you still have more infantry, but that you guys see the archers just completely whittle down whatever men are left from the pikes when they try to engage. So we'll see what happens here. Battle of Tanis. So this is still a relatively flat grassland map. I'm surprised they're not picking a woodland map, but because if they picked a woodland map, Cav get in there. Cav get really slowed down, really hunkered down, and they can only move like so often. We have deer. We have deer on the field. And they can only move so often. So what you need to do is, I just think if they picked a woodland map, that would completely negate the amount of cav that their opponents seem to be bringing. The opponent being Simon and Akenathon. So Macedon needs to win this one because Akenathon is up 1-0, and Simon and Akenathon are up 1-0. We'll see if they can pull it off. We've seen Simon's and Akenathon's tactics, and we've seen the Macedon's tactics. He's really good at getting into position, as you guys saw there. He ran his units forward, and then at the last second, he would put them in pike and stop, which is very devastating, and it's really hard to micromanage your whole pike line when it's about to engage like that, and he did a great job doing it. So we're just going to have to see how it plays out, because, I mean, he's a good player, and they're both, like I said, they're capitalizing on everything. I would say they're pretty much on fair ground here. It's anybody's game.
Deepfig 2236
so they already start pretty close to each other. I'm curious to see if they brought any sort of catapults, just because I feel like it's good, but Simon's team is really good at just sending in their units quickly and closing the distance on their opponents. So that's going to be something to watch out for. Also, the cav fight, again, is something to watch out for, because that's pretty much the big decider here. It just comes down to whoever is advantage here on the cav, because at the end, it's pretty much just whoever gets to move around and force their opponent into the corner there. Because in the last battle, you saw Team Leontes was just forced to curl up in a ball and wait until the onslaught of all the horses and archers came out. And then in the one before that, you saw all the archers just literally just fire arrow city, just shooting. It was just a rain of fire on all the rest of the units. They're just going to try to get set up now. So far they haven't been talking. I believe one team just said they're ready. And we're just going to be waiting on the other one to ready up. And then I'll break down the units for you guys and what they're trying to bring. I believe it was 2 Macedons versus an Iceni, or not Iceni, it was Averni and Subi. So Averni and Subi is going to have to close the distance fairly quickly, because they don't want to engage for too long. And Macedon's going to want to try to play defensive, force the enemy to come to them, which it seems Simon's team is very good at doing. At forcing their units, or forcing their units into their opponent's faces and just causing disarray in the lines as quickly as possible. So it's going to be a little interesting to see how they set up. Probably just, okay, straight line. Catapults there, heavy onagers. So here in the south side of the minimap, Team Macedon, this is the Leontes group. They are up, or they are down 0-1, so they need to win this battle in order to have a shot at moving on in this tournament. Now here in the south side of the minimap, we have Subi and Averni, and they are up 1-0. This is Simon's team. So let's see if they can capitalize on what they brought here. Their onagers. They also brought, let's see how much cav they brought. Looks like they still brought a fairly decent amount of noble riders from Subi, and I don't see too many noble riders from Averni. Actually, he brought 3-4 as well. But this catapult here is going to be pretty key because their opponent is in a pike line. So we'll see how they pull it off. Already ready to fire. We'll see the amount of damage it can take. Here we go. They're shooting at something, probably focusing the cav down, which would be probably ideal. So this is going to force Macedon to come at their opponent because they know that this catapult is just going to wreak havoc on all of their lines. They need to try to dodge as many shots as they can. Remember, catapults only have about 12 volleys. So if you can run back and forth and just force your opponent to miss most of the shots, every time you see a volley, you know, move, or maybe have a cav run around here in a circle and just bait shots. Up to you however you decide to take out catapults. I like that tactic where you bait shots and let them use up their whole catapult. You pretty much just don't worry about it too much. You don't need to sacrifice units to take it out. It's nice if you can pull that off in the very beginning, but with this big surround here, I don't think Macedon will be able to get out. They didn't bring too many cav. Looks like 3 aspis or cav, yeah. 5, I think total of 5 there. So we'll see how they utilize it. Sending slingers forward. Looks like the heavy onager here is opting not to shoot. Oh, they just activated their, I think, quick reload. These guys get quick reload. Let's see what the symbol is. Quick reload. So that means an extra shot. They're shooting a pig. They already got the poison pig gas. This is like demoralizing and lowers down the enemy melee attack and things like that. These guys got hit by it. Probably not the best because, like I said, you get 12 shots. Probably lots more coming in. Dead pigs crashing down, lowering the morale, melee attack, melee defense of the enemy units. And that's probably... I'm not too sure. Not too sure why. I think they're just testing stuff out. Or there could be some sort of a hidden tactic that I'm unaware of. But it seems a little too early to do that. I know doing that is really good early on. Or not early on, but right before the fight happens. Looks like all of these cav getting devastated by that hit. Wow, how many died? 23 died. And all these longbow hunters now are going to shoot straight onto these aspis cav. He needs to fall back. Subi is way far forward. Look at this. They're just all by themselves. Royal Peltas here just sitting pretty, along with shield bearers here. So these catapults are just going to keep trying to get shots off, and they're turning around to retreat. Not sure if that is a good idea, but nonetheless, they are going to do it. Macedon's trying to break out, and they're forcing their opponents back. Let's see how Macedon decides to capitalize on all of the spread out units. Just swordmasters and noble riders. Why this unit, Royal Peltas, is asleep. They're asleep. They're asleep. They need to move. They're just sitting there. They need to come down and collapse. Maybe he'll notice it. Now the noble riders did engage onto hoplites, which is not ideal. More aspis cav getting hit, but they're going to get charged in the back by nobles. He did catch the general, though, so that is a plus. But that leaves this lane open to kill the catapult. Let's see if he decides to get this unit and just hit that catapult instead. Or he's retreating this unit to try to make sure he gets the catapults out. That's a smart move here. He knew he was going to lose this unit, so he pulls it out of fight, goes straight for the onagers, trying to take him out. So here comes the initial fight. Is this the foot companion pike line are going to form into pikes, fight these nobles, spear nobles. But with the pike, they're going to do lots of damage here. Already taking huge casualties. Averni is now moving up the foot companion. He's chasing Subi back, but Subi is getting the flank around. Let's see how he decides to do it. Is it the Onager get taken out? Onager down to about 20 men, 19 men, and steadily losing it. This Noble Rider did get caught on all sides, so that unit is going to be going down. Foot Companions here chasing back the Subi units. The Subi units running for dear life while they're just following with the spears. Men, onwards! Take them out, chase them down. Trying to do whatever they can to catch those units. The Onager has 11 units left, 4, 8, 12, so they cannot mount all of the catapults right now. Great job at doing that, forcing that catapult down, so that's a big plus for them. Averni getting completely engulfed here by Foot Companions on all sides and getting a flank here. That's pretty good. Subi forced to retreat, splitting off units to make them stop chasing. He's like, no, I'm just going to sacrifice this unit over here. And he's going to send in a Royal Peltas to finish that off. Noble Riders trying to get around, but getting caught. Averni and Subi not doing a very good job. Those catapults have been taken out. A lot of units here sitting pretty. This Royal Peltas finally comes back into play, and it's going to charge into the backs of these Swordmasters and Archers. Wow, this battle took a turn for the worst for Simon's team. It looks like at the very beginning that Mastodon was going to get engulfed, but they decided to push out, chase down most of these units, and are trying to just get around now, and they're getting counter engulfed. How does that even happen? From engulfed to engulfed, if that's even a word. That's insane. Averni's units can only last so long against all this pikes. Now all the the noble horses are moving in, trying to take out this shield bearer, which will probably happen. I mean, there's hoplites here to try to help him out, but the shield bearer can only last so long. He needs to pop rally on that unit. Archers all spread out throughout the place. A lot of units just kind of mixed and matched throughout the field. He needs to maybe send in this horse scout to try to take out the swordmasters over here. Averni keep retreating. Aspis Cav getting into the archer line. They're just all archers here, and he's getting in there. But he did get caught by these... What is killing these units? Oh, the companion Cav, Aspis Cav still moving in. Chasing down all the units. He's just right-clicking, moving them forward, trying to get all the units down. So much action happening here. Let's see what happens to this Cav, though. It's still chasing units, doing a great job, but it finally got caught by noble horses, so that's only going to last so long. Here in the middle, we have the Foot Companions fighting the Spear Nobles, but they're about to get hit by these Foot Companions here in the back. These units, still archers. Look at this. They completely swept all the way around, and now they're just going to collapse down. And I think there's only archers left for Averni. Averni's Spear Nobles still holding on because they have the support of the archers. Their general did survive. He's going to be getting away with that. But the Foot Companion here are going to make quick work of the Spear Nobles, then take out this one. And this time, Mastodon doing a great job at keeping their cavalry alive. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose too much cavalry because he needs them at the end because he doesn't want to get killed just pelted down by all of these archers. Mastodon needs to save as many archers and as many cav as they can, reform a line, and march towards the Averni or the Guerrilla faction Team Guerrilla. And that's pretty much what they're turning into. They love using a lot of archers and kiting around to their advantage, but this time, with all the sheer amount of cavalry and positioning from the Macedon team Leontes, they did a really good job at just capitalizing. Because what happened there was they saw that that unit, that Subi, was out of position, needed to retreat, so they just pressed onward. Now big attacks here going on, mixed here with cavalry, mixed in with skirmishers, mixed in with footmen, with Foot Companions. These longbow hunters aren't going to last too long, but the noble horse is what needs to be killed. He needs to take out as many cav as possible. And Averni and Subi just need to keep retreating back. Look at this. Royal Peltas, probably one of my favorite unit, moving in, throwing their pelts. Now moving in to try to take out the rest of these skirmishers. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to engage on all fronts as quickly as possible, force the micro out of their opponents, and force them to just move as many as possible. He's going to get this unit out of the way. Hopefully they catch him with these Thorax Pikemen, or this unit will get a good back charge. A lot more units moving in. Royal Peltas still advancing forward, and all that's left here is skirmishers and one noble horse. And noble horses don't want to fight Peltas, so they have to just keep charging forward, that guy getting taken down. And a constant charge forward. Now these units are routing. They're barely losing units. And they're going to keep advancing forward. This is insane. What a big turnaround. Like I said in the beginning, they were getting engulfed, and they just turned it around. And all that's left is these longbow hunters, and that's the majority of it. Mostly skirmish units and just a couple horses left. See, this is what happens when that initial horse archer fight, when you lose all of your infantry, and this is all you have left, which is what they've been what they've been trying to push and trying to use throughout this tournament, finally gets taken down because the infantry just got decimated by all the Mastodon units. So it looks like an aggressive style of pike play out of Team Leontes, revolutionizing how to use pikes. All you have, it seems like what you want to do is use your pikes like regular men, like regular sword units, and then right before you engage, backspace, and you stop your units, and then they just sit in pike, which is such a good idea. Proving that pikes can still compete with the rest of these units here. A lot of archer fire going into these Aspis Cav, but it's only going to last for so much longer. Averni and Subi constantly retreating back. They're playing this like they have muskets, where they're trying to reload and keep doing lanes of fire back in Fall of the Samurai. But it's only so much longer until the Macedon units end up chasing down the rest of these men. They're just trying to survive for dear life here. They may be able to do it. Do they still have cav? They have one cav. A couple slingers coming back. A lot of these footmen all getting clumped up pretty hard, but with all these, with all the skirmishers constantly in retreat, they can't get the fire they would like. A lot of throws getting hit now. Not too sure what's going to happen here. A lot of little engagements going on, a lot of chasing. Where is Redline on this map? It looks like they're still really far. They just have been kiting them in a big circle. Doing a really good job at forcing the chase, but you're not Parthia, you know. You don't have your noble horses or your horse archers in order to constantly kite and constantly shoot. These units can't shoot in retreat, so they have to stop, turn around, get good shots, and see. This is exactly what you want to see. That volley killing, wow, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. By 18 to 20 units there with that one volley. Very good job. But they can only run so far before they get redlined, and it's coming up here pretty shortly. Lots of chasing going on. The general finally routing, and I don't think there's enough arrow fire to kill all of these men. Even if Macedon stopped moving, I don't think there's enough archers to take out the rest of these men. So it's pretty much going to be a chase down here until it's over. So funny to see. Constantly just stopping, retreating, loading rocks, throwing rocks. But they're also getting shot at the same time by these peltasts. So they need to constantly be in motion as well. And just all of this kiting. I'm surprised how long they can last with just archers. That is baffling. There's no way I'd be able to pull that off. I think it's time to just stop the pike line and just chase, because I mean, maybe this unit keep pike in case the sword masters do decide to turn around, but the rest of these units need to just chase. And that is exactly what they're doing. Shields up, moving forward. Very wise choice, because the rest of the units are just archers. If he catches them on any sort of unit, it's going to be over. He's trying to focus down the shield bearers over here, the general unit, and he's actually doing it off pretty successfully. But once these units do get caught, if they eventually get caught, it seems they're too fast. This is just going to be a constant in motion until they either get redlined or they kite around. They just keep doing circles until they survive. Swordmaster's making it through the line onto these units, but that's just going to get caught by Royal Peltasts. I don't know how much longer Averni and Subi can keep this up. I feel like they're not doing too well, but this power bar is slowly dropping for the Macedon team unless they can catch some of these units. Peltast finally engaging the Swordmasters here. Swordmasters will fall, especially with all this fire. Wow. These javelins hitting their marks. Very interesting to see. Subi's Swordmasters finally getting taken out. Still continuous kiting here with longbows. And Averni trying to figure out which way they're going to run. Do we run left? Do we run right? Do we charge in? Are they out of shots? It's hard to say. The slingers can only do so much though with these foot companions constantly in motion. But they might be able to get a pretty good collapse here. But we'll see. They're trying to focus down these archers, which is, I guess, a decent idea depending. I don't know how much arrows these guys have left or rocks they have left to throw. But if they can pull it off, they might be able to pull off one of the craziest comebacks. They literally only have archers left. I don't know how they're still here. I mean, I know they're still kiting, but that's insane that they're able to keep going and keep kiting everything down. And I mean, these units are just, it's just gonna keep happening over and over again. He's trying to charge, but these units constantly shooting at them. But I don't think one unit could take out this unit if they just keep charging like that. I mean, eventually that unit will get tired, but so will the archers. And when that happens, it's over. This Peltas getting caught. The Peltas should win in this melee combat. What's the melee attack? 12 versus 12? Okay. We're actually even in melee combat. Interesting to see here. The Macedon unit is going to lose that one because they are down men from getting hit so hard. But, I mean, this is just going to be constant chases now. All over the map, as you can see, units are just getting chased. Even if they take this down to the time limit, which is in about 4 minutes or so, the power balance bar, unless they can get it back to their side, it's going to be over. They're about to get caught by this. Oh, no, these are, my bad. These are on the same team. I thought they caught them. And it looks like here they're trying to get shots off as much as possible, but like I said before, I don't think any sort of whittling down is going to catch. I think he needs to sort of do like an engulf, send this unit back. And this just proves to show why Cav at the end of the game is very important for chasing down units like this. We're pretty much just going to see these chases. Macedon probably annoyed by now having to constantly chase these units around. And that's going to happen for quite some time because these units are faster. And in about 3 minutes or so, the match will get called if the chase does keep continuing. We'll see here if they can catch them. But there's still so many units left out of Macedon. So they could literally just sit there, but it's hard to say because you don't want to just take shots constantly. But I would almost just say sit there and take the shots because you're not catching them this way. Your men are getting tired. And I don't think the rest of the shots would be able to take out your men. But we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. But, I mean, this unit's still fresh. I mean, not still fresh. That unit still has like all its men, and most of these units still have a good majority of their men. So we'll see what they do decide to do. Whether or not they're just going to sit there or not. This unit all out by itself chasing. So exhausted from chasing these men. They don't even put their shields up on time. Trying to charge, trying to get it in there. And I think sending your men like that is probably not the best idea. If they hold out for 2 more minutes, they'll probably be okay. Using the force as cover, not a bad idea. It's interesting to see how fast these archers are. I would say normally, like in Shogun 2, if you have Boa Shigaru or something, there's just not enough to catch it. So if there's no action happening, then we might have to call this one. But we still got a couple minutes here to see what exactly both these teammates are going to do. Looks like Macedon decided to just sit here and take shots for as long as they can and hopefully outlast. Because even if they have like just 2 units left, I'm pretty sure each Macedon will be fine. I think they're sending in this unit here, try to force a movement. Getting in really close, shooting fire arrows. Wow, that unit is getting taken out pretty quickly. Very interesting to see. And now they're going to charge forward. Longbow hunters are pulling back. Oh no, we still have an extra, actually 20 minutes on this fight. The time limit was 40 minutes, so we still have a good amount of time. on this if this continues for another like 10 minutes or so. But I feel like by now they're out of shots. Probably should not send this unit out like that. Keep it back with the rest of his forces. And he doesn't have any sort of skirmish units left to try to trade. He might try to collapse this unit down. Maybe if he switches targets now to these slingers. But he's just charging forward, getting hit by arrows. You can see how devastating archer fire can actually be. These slingers using their shots on retreating units. They need to switch targets. Wow, if they're able to pull this off, I'm going to be very surprised. And I'm not too sure what these foot companions can do, what Macedon can do at this point. But all he can do is really just sit there and hopefully try to face the enemy with your archers and not get hit so much. Wow, look at all the kills these longbow hunters have. I honestly don't know how much arrows they have left, but it can't be enough to take out the rest of these units. There's just no way. There's just no way. Wow, big shots. I'm about to get a square formation here, trying to get all the shields on all the sides. He maybe needs to break out, or I don't know what to say anymore at this point. And there's no really way of knowing how much units he has left. It's too bad he doesn't have a cavalry left to take out the rest of these units. It's hard to see these units just get taken out. Wow. He's trying to use the cover here to make the trees eat up some damage from the shots, but I don't think it's enough. So we'll see what happens. I think he's just trying to focus units. I'm not too sure. I think he's out of shots on this longbow hunters, it seems. They have a lot of kills. So do these guys, so do these guys. Every single one of these skirmish units has so much kills. But I think that's it. I think now it's the point where they're out of shots. Slingers maybe have a few shots left, but not anything. That flag bearer getting destroyed. And I think actually they're just trying to force the Macedon army out of this forest. Because if they can force the Macedon army into the open, they'll get a lot more kills, a lot more shots. But Macedon knows this and just going to stay here in the tree cover. Trying to get back shots on these units, and it's working out well. This Royal Peltas losing their units very easily. It's probably from all the archer fire now. Foot companions trying to catch this unit. We'll be able to pull it off. Every time they get a charge off, they do kill a few units, but it's not enough. They're just not fast enough at this point. Foot companions here trying to catch this longbow hunters. Longbow hunters pulling back, and I do believe that one over there is out of shots. So this battle is going to continue on like this for quite some time until they feel that they are out of shots. Just going to keep kiting. I'm surprised. Look at this. This is all like chase kills. It even continued for quite some time on that side too. Longbow hunters, he's trying to make them get as close as possible and then shoot with the fire arrows and then pull back. He's trying to charge here with the slingers. No, it's a fake. Lots of feints going in. Slingers constantly trying to put the hurt on any sort of minimal unit there is. This unit getting hit by all sides. They're just slowly trying to focus one unit at a time, it seems. And these longbow hunters, he wants to make every shot count. They have to be out of shots by now. There's just no way. 258 kills? How are they not out of shots? At one point, is he going to charge in? I believe this unit here is probably going to charge in. Probably doesn't have any shots left. Otherwise, he would have been using it now. And he's trying to make every last shot count. He's trying to run up as close as possible, get a good hit in, and then pull back. Looks like, yeah, like these longbow hunters are trying to get as close as possible before they shoot. Getting into the backs of these foot companions. So close. Look at the distance. After that shot, they're going to retreat, and there's just no catch. And that's just going to keep happening over and over again. And faint charges by these slingers. So the only guys that have arrows left, I think, is this guy, and that hunter. There's no way anything else still has shots left. And that unit is getting scared away. I think they lost maybe 1 or 2 units on that one. And now they're trying to get a good surround before they charge in, but these men will not last long in melee combat. It looks like I've never seen a game go down to this. Very interesting to see. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here now, because they know they're out of shots, and they weren't able to kill enough to get the power bar on their favor to stall out the game. So they're gonna have to just charge in at this point, unless they have more shots. There's more shots. It's an endless barrage of arrows. It's like they're just picking up any arrows they find and are moving in. And they're getting really good side shots, and like, look at this.
Form square formation.
Trying to get, wow, doing a lot of damage. This unit has 301 kills on an archer unit. That is insane to see. At some point, though, they're going to have to charge. It looks like these hoplites might be able to get it. They activated fast moving. Is it enough to catch this unit? Is it enough? No, it is not. And they're going to get hit by these slingers, but everything's just a feint. Everything, constant feints over and over again. Oh, they're going to be able to pull it off with the catch? No, it gets away again. Wow. This is so crazy. These slingers still have more shots, but they're not getting as much kills as they want. And it looks like this hoplite unit is just going to keep chasing this unit, which is not able to bait this unit out. And he needs to keep these hoplites because they're the only units with fast moving still left on them. But he knows these are the only hunters with still archer shots left. They're going to keep feinting over and over again. It looks like they're going to accept this battle because these hunters still have some shots left into them. But these slingers are going to last no time. They're not going to last at all because that unit's fresh. The both units are fresh, but this is a hoplite unit. There is no way. Now it looks like that Celtic slinger is down. They're going to hit the next longbow hunters. That longbow hunter is going to go down. And that's pretty much it. Just one hoplite unit now going to finish up the rest of these units. Now the power bar jumped all the way back up into the favor of Macedon within that, killing only a few units. Archer shots still moving in, but there's only so much they could do. Killing the rest of these units. He's getting a good engulf, but they're hoplites. They're hoplites versus archers, even with that big charge in. Look at this, no kills. This one guy with the shield bounced them all back. That is insane to see. And now it's just going to be it. GG from Simon. This game is going into a third round. Very interesting to see Macedon pull it off. All the rest of the units are finally routing. That was like 15 minutes of kiting. Oh, it's so crazy to see that. That they were actually able to move that effectively. So we are going to see a third game. Wow, very well done. Very well done, Leontes group. And that is very, very crazy. So we will see a third match. Wow. So, okay. So how it works now is so letting them know now know that Simon's group did finally get taken out, so it's an even 1-1. The next person, the next team to win this battle is going to move on to the, this is the semifinals, so they're going to move on to the finals. So it's going to be crazy to see what they pull off here, if they're able to take down Simon's group. So they want to pick a flat in the north. So it looks like they're going to stay as the host, but they are going to change the map. And we'll see how that goes. That's very interesting. I can't believe they kited for so long. So this is the 2v2 BroTournament hosted by Rome 2 League. And if you guys want to check these out, if you guys like these tournaments and battles, that is the link to the website. We host these tournaments once a week. So if you guys want to play or just watch, feel free to follow me here, follow me on the Twitch, or if I'm on Twitch, follow me on the YouTube channel, or just check the site. You could join the Steam group. Any of that will be perfectly acceptable. Or if you don't want to do any of that, you know, every Saturday we're going to be right here on this channel streaming tournaments. And like I said, once again, I do come up with these rules, and I also get some players' input onto what maps or what rules they like. And I usually ask the players in like previous tournaments what they want to see. Most of the time I get, you know, we want this to be like a free tournament where people can bring whatever they want, and that's totally acceptable. And I normally run my tournaments like that, like multiplayer style. But if you guys have any ideas, like you want to do like scenarios where one team's a defender and one team's an attacker and we switch like that, that'd be cool. Or any sort of thing like that. So like I said, if you guys have any ideas, or you just like playing the game, or you want to stop by, be sure to check out the site. Everything's on there. And if you have any questions, you can always add me on Steam, and feel free to chat up. Be more than welcome to. So again, this is the semifinals. This is the last round of the semifinals. The winner here is moving on to the finals, and then we already have a finalist team, which is the Terminator team, which is by it's the Dugganator and Jagatron. They are already in the finals, so the winner is gonna face them. And this is the last battle. It's tie 1-1 here. We get to see the aggressive play style of Simon's teams and Akenathon. They've been using a very aggressive style of sending units in really quickly, capitalizing on their cav advantage, and they also bring a lot of skirmishers, which is very interesting to see. They got 300 kills for 2 different hunter units, which is insane. I've never seen a hunter unit get that many kills. So they're very good at micromanaging their archers while systematically taking out the enemy archers and enemy cav. But what ends up happening there was Macedon caught Subi completely out of position, killed all of the infantry, and it was pretty much just a kite battle there for about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's pretty much what it came down to. And let's see what they decide to do this time. If Macedon's going to bring more cav, because this is going to be the third time they're playing against each other. They have a really good idea on what they're going to bring. So they may decide to change up their spear wall tactic, or just maybe have one less and have maybe 1 or 2 extra cav, or maybe bring an onager. But as we've seen before, the onagers have just been getting taken out really quickly. Last battle, Simon and Agathon's team brought a onager, and what ends up happening was they lost it very early on. It only got about, I think, 20 kills before they finally sacrificed a cav to take it out, which gave them that advantage on the rest of the game. But by sacrificing that cav, they lost the majority of their cav to Macedon lost the majority of their cav to Agathon and Simon, which means that, like as you saw in that last battle, towards the end they had no cav left. But on the other hand, the other team didn't have any cav left either, and they only had skirmish units, and they were just kiting for the majority of the game. It almost worked, but I think they just didn't have it anymore. I think just because of that onager loss. If they had the onager get a few more kills onto the pikes, they probably would have done a lot better. So here we go. They're finally both ready. We have Macedon versus Subi and Rome. It is going to be on Battle of Alibu, which is a relatively flat desert map, and this was picked.
Has left the channel.
And this was picked by the Rome and Subi group because they wanted to have a flat map and play it like how they like to play it. So here on the left, we have this hill, obviously prime for sending up cav early on. We're going to see that, and we're probably going to see cav work around this right side, probably up on this hill as well, because units here have line of sight. So if you're able to have your units hidden by, let's say, a hill or something, you won't be able to see it. It is not like Shogun where you have to be hidden in a forest. which makes for some very interesting surprise tactics out of both of these players. So we'll go ahead and minimize that and see if we can find any animals. Well, what is going to be here? Polar bears? What's on the north? North of Germany. Boars? I am expecting boars. No, there's no animals. This is an unlucky map. Never picking this map again. Always birds, though. There's a surplus of birds. Yeah, I don't see any other animals. Sad face. If there's any Easter eggs, though. No, nothing. Okay. So breaking down this map, it looks like they both have... It's relatively even. They're already starting half on the hill, half on this other side. It's just going to be a straightforward march. So let's see. It's Rome versus Subi versus 2 Macedon units. So what to expect here? Well, we know that Rome's probably going to take the frontal fight. There's going to be a lot of Praetorian Cav. Praetorian Cav are very good. But I do believe they lose to the Aspis Cav of... Oh, animals. Take it back. Best map ever. Deer. So, so anyway, what was I saying? Rome? Right. Rome is probably going to take the brunt of the force, and Subi is going to use... Subi is going to be the support. So after Rome engages with their initial Pila, probably they're going to waste a lot of Pila shots going back and forth, attacking all of the men. So as you guys know, if you guys played this already, mostly all units with spear throwing except Peltasts, they have about 2 throws before they completely run out of throws. So what you're probably going to see is all of the Roman units advance forward, throw their Pila, fall back, advance forward, throw their Pila, and then engage. And only then are they going to engage, because after 2 Pila throws, along with probably all the auxiliary archers, I think is what we normally see, along with all those, you're probably going to see a big amount of fire like that. So here on the south side of the minimap, we have the Macedon faction. This is Team Leontes. And here on the north side, we have Rome and Subi almost looking completely identical. They are Simon and Akenathon. And what's going to happen here is, looks like we see a lot of skirmish units again out of these guys, along with a lot of cavalry. They have this really unique playstyle, while Macedon obviously is going to go very heavy melee. And right from the beginning of the game, they run for the top of the hill. That is so funny to see. They're going to send all their cav forward, try to stop this. The cav from Rome is also going to come up here to try to stop this, but Macedon's going to end up winning this hill because Aspis Cav and with all your units right here in support, that's going to be hill advantage for them, and they can probably just sit pretty on this hill without having to move. The deer getting in the way of this charge. They pull away. Aspis Cav here probably going to have to charge. Bad move, I think, doing that. They realized as they were retreating that their archers were in danger, so they decided to charge. Aspis Cav here going to get charged by these units. Oh, big charges onto that unit, but they didn't lose any. The archers here getting caught. They need to retreat them back, but the rest of the force now engaging. Subi, seeing this, are going to try to capitalize by sending all their units forward. Macedon needs to reset here. All of the cav by Rome getting taken out. Bad engagement. He tried to send all his units forward, and they would have done okay, but the morale factor here taking big precedence over these units and forcing him to rout with the majority of their units still intact. So, okay, it looks like one slinger group is routing. They probably will come back if we see a rally. This Praetorian Cav needs to get attacked more. They're just letting the Aspis Cav. There we go. Here comes the charge. Now Macedon needs to face forward because the onslaught here by Subi is going to be coming up the hill very soon. Rome made it to the top of this hill, so we have a collapse. I don't know if Macedon should retreat back or what they should do because they're about to get engulfed here. This Praetorian Cav, wow, doing a great job. 48 kills. Lots of archer fire going in them. The Aspis Cav hitting them from the sides. But they're still advancing forward. He needs to get some like hoplites in here. Here we go. Hoplites trying to make it to the field now. But they're just, the Praetorian Cav keep chasing because they know it's pretty much over. So they just want to send in whatever they can. More Cav trying to move along the side, but Royal Paltaus there going to try to thwart them away. Subi advancing up the hill. Macedon needs to hurry up and reform their lines. Take out this Praetorian Cav. which should happen very soon. This Aspis Cav down to only a few units left. Rome knows that they have a huge Cav advantage, so they're trying to take out all of the Cav out of Macedon. And at the same time here, whittle them down with archers. Archers have been shooting at these units for quite some time now. So he needs to get his slingers up and start shooting back at the longbow hunters, because we know how devastating longbow hunters can be if left unchecked. Looks like Praetorian Cav made it all the way around. Are they going to charge the backs? Oh, they're going to charge the backs of these skirmishers. This is what I'm talking about. The Simon and Simon and his teammate Akenathon are able to get in here and do so much damage and take out. Look at that, all the Peltas are dead because this one Praetorian Cav made it in. So all the skirmish component out of this Macedon guy is now gone. So Leontes' skirmish component just got cut in half by that one unit. So what's going to end up happening here is Subi is just going to keep trying to shoot down the rest of the slingers and have the archer advantage. Wow. Very well played by them. They really know how to capitalize on that. So this is kind of what happened last battle as well. The only difference was Macedon pushed at Simon's and Agathon's units, so they lost the majority of their melee men. But with all these longbow hunters, they're doing so much damage. A couple slingers are coming back. They were really banking on these slingers to take out the enemy archers, but without that, they're not going to do too well. Cav now getting taken out by Armored Legionnaire's Pila throw. Macedon's probably going to come collapsing down this hill because they know exactly what happened last time and how to make it happen. So these Cav are going to be very important. He needs to send all his melee units forward and have these Cav take out the archers. That's important. If these Cav do not take out the rest of these archers, Macedon's going to be in for a world of hurt. Because this is just the tactical way of taking out pike units by using archers to just whittle them down. So that's exactly what's going to happen. All their units retreating back. A couple of these units are going to stay to fight to prolong this army from getting all the way in. All in the meantime getting whittled down by archers. The only thing is these melee units, the pikemen, if they make it to this line, they will devastate it. They will. So it looks like big Aspis cavalry charge onto these noble riders. It looks like, but with the archer cover and swordmasters now moving in, they're not going to do too well. On this left side, Macedon's trying to chase Rome, but Rome's constantly falling back. They're playing this really fallback tactic. This unit did make it through. Let's see if he's able to bring it around and swing onto the archers. This is exactly what he needs to do. Hopefully he can make it happen. Otherwise, we're going to have another chase on our hands. Swordmaster is trying to catch him. They're not going to make it. All in the meanwhile, they're getting chased by foot companions. Aspis Cav did make it through. Rome on the left-hand side is going to constantly fall back. Subi sent noble riders in, but they did get caught by Thorax pikemen. This is the key unit right here, ladies and gentlemen. If this unit can get all the way around and take out the archers, Macedon, I would say, already won the battle. If they can bring these around, but they have to do this really well, and they can't mess it up. The archers are going to shoot. They're turning perfect timing, taking out longbow hunters. They need to keep going. Just keep going, and they can take out these units. All devastating these units. No. Akenathon was not able to catch these Aspis Cav. Now these guys are just going to be so devastating. They already had 112, 120, 130, 160. What? All of the archers getting taken out. Oh my god, 300 kills already on these units. It's climbing so fast. I can't even count that fast. 340. Got all of the archers with one hit. That is what needed to happen. That's exactly what Macedon needed to bring themselves back into this game. Rome finally realizing this, catching the Aspis Cav. But wow, Aspis Cav at 2 chevrons versus this unit, they're not going to last. But all of these archers now, all of these melee infantry are going to have to try to move to take out this Cav so that his archers don't get killed. But then at the same time, he's being charged forward by Royal Peltas and the pike wall, and he has to constantly retreat back on the right-hand side. It's not going any better for Akenathon over here with his swordmasters and berserkers. There is one Cav unit left here, but only 34, and I'm not too sure what he wants to do with this unit. Swordbreakers here already losing themselves. A lot of units here collapsing down onto hoplites. Very good job. But with all of the skirmish component mostly gone, It's going to be interesting to see because I don't know how well... These are just slingers. He invested so much money into those hunters. And this cav finally dies. How much did they kill? 369 kills out of this cavalry. That cavalry deserves super medals and super women when they get home, because that was insane what they just pulled off, each of those guys. Wow. So shield bearers here now. Subi trying to get a collapse. Subi's still in this game if they can get this collapse down. Most of their archers are down, but a lot of noble riders still alive. Mastodon needs to be very careful with where he's spacing his units, and if he can catch these, because I don't think there's any cav left from Mastodon. And if these back charges get in very good into the backs of these peltasts or foot companions, and the foot companions or peltasts aren't turned around to face it, then it's not going to be very good for those units. It looks like he's going to chase with Royal Peltasts onto Slingers, and we know exactly what's going to happen in that situation. Just chases over and over again. But there is still so much cav left over from Subi and Rome. It's like, this is always what happens. It's like all the melee units get taken out, and all they have left are cav and archers. And it's a good thing that Macedon took out all of those hunters, or they would have been in a world of hurt at this point of the game. So now Swordmasters here fighting for their lives against Peltas. Peltas probably going to win this one until this charge goes down onto the Peltas. He needs to turn and face before this charge hits. Let's see if he does do it or it does get hit. Looks like he sort of turns, but that unit didn't lose anything. Okay, now it's slowly starting to lose units on that charge. They might be okay. Royal Peltas are pretty insane. Big engulf here. Mastodon's getting engulfed pretty hard, and it's like the same battle where they're just constantly retreating archers, trying to chase. We see this happen all the time from these guys, and there's just melee units left from Macedon. This Royal Peltas here doing a lot of damage. They're very... Okay, now they're losing slightly, so they're not going to last too much longer, but let's see if they can kill the Noble Riders. That's kind of what they want to focus on here, because these Noble Riders do a lot of damage, chasing down these leftover Slingers. The power bounce bar actually is still in favor of Rome here. That's interesting. Able to pull back the advantage. And the thing is, with all these Slingers still left over, there's not too much left that they can do. Noble Riders here are wavering. Units down. Peltast, even in combat. Peltast finally wavering. Let's see if they can take out these Noble Riders of 20 units left. Possibly 19 units left. These Royal Peltas are really good. Finally routing Noble Riders down to 18 units. Not bad. So what's going to happen here is Macedon's in a good position, but they don't have any way to chase these Slingers down. Slingers aren't that good, but especially in this open map, I mean, unless they can retreat to this forest, I would almost say retreat to this forest, if a possibility. Because what's going to end up happening is they're just going to get kited again. And, I mean, none of these units can really win. I mean, it's going to be a lot of feints going on here. And they need to watch each of their units very, very carefully in order to pull this off. So we'll see what they decide to do. I would say Macedon needs to get to a forest, because if they keep chasing, we already know what's going to happen. I mean, they are Slingers, so it's not going to be as much, but it's still going to happen. Wow, these Slingers all have 80 kills each. Wow. Swordmasters finally getting caught by Hoplites and Royal Peltas, but with the Archer fire here, it's going to be... They're probably going to end up losing that one. Constant chases left and right. Cav charge on the Foot Companions that weren't in form. That guy slid for... Oh, he got up! What? What? Oh, that was funny. Oh, man. He gets... Okay. I think he would have died if that happened in real life. So, Swordmasters cleaning up that unit fairly quickly, and that's exactly what's going to happen if he chases. But he's opting to chase, which is probably not ideal. A lot of pikemen getting caught now. The thing is, there's so much units left over. So many more Cav and archers left over, and Macedon's just going to get kited for the most part. I mean, look at Macedon here, trying to chase, but can only do so much. Now the big melee fight here. Foot Companions are in pike, so they will do really good here. And they're being supported by shield bearers, so that's good as well. But once these charges get in here, oh, that's going to hurt. Charges in every direction, hitting these units. And I think that's going to be it with that one. I mean, they did a really good job, but I think the amount of cav they bring, so essential it seems to this battle. Trying to escape with his foot companions, trying to turn around and engage the rest of these units. And I think that's going to be it with all the amount of slingers.
Quick march! Advance!
So now it's pretty much just going to be cleaning up, and that is going to be the battle. So we are going to see Simon and Akenathon moving on to the finals. That was pretty insane. Wow. So let me talk to the next group of players and see where they're at.